Not today, Satan. I told you all a couple of weeks ago that I found out I was pre-diabetic. 98 million Americans are. Most of them do not know it. 1 in 3 are. 80% of them have no idea. Well, that was me. So I talked about what you can do when you find out you're pre-diabetic. 1 is nothing. 2 is take meds. 3 is deal with it with lifestyle change. I'm choosing that option. And I asked if you want to join me on the journey. So I'm wanting to give you a little bit so you know what the journey is for me and if you want to do something similar. So today I wanted to go over some of the specifics in case you're wanting to follow along or do the same. And so I want to give you enough where you can say, I'm going to do what Trainer Joe's doing and see if it works for me as well. So my plan to kick its butt, 1 is continue with things that I was already doing right. And those were a lot. I'm already getting good sleep, which I'm grateful for that. If you're not, do your best to get better sleep. I'm already exercising regularly. I may pick that up a little bit, but I was already doing that. I'll continue, and I certainly am not going to do less. The biggest reason this came up for me and for you is diet. What are you eating? And that's the one I'm going to put the most emphasis on. All of them are important. This one by far is the most important. Getting my carbs to under 100 a day, under 70 is really about where I am. Checking my blood sugar at least twice a day, and then I'll check my A1C again in 3 months. That gives you the average. So what specifically am I doing different? About 300 carbs a day, what I was doing before, to 70. If all I did was quit my evening ice cream and cookies, that may have fixed it for me, but I'm wanting to hit it harder than that to make sure that I get good results. Checking my blood sugar twice a day, continuing with what I said a minute ago. Specifically, I am eating more meat, cottage cheese, berries, avocados, things. I brought some of the stuff I'm doing. Like I used to put this in my coffee every morning. And quite frankly, I felt fine doing so because I didn't see anything happening to me. My weight was good. Okay, if your weight's not good, you ought to deal with that just because your weight's not good. Mine was fine. I didn't know of any issues I had till I had that blood work check. So I'm not doing this anymore at all. Instead, I still get to drink coffee because there's little or no evidence that coffee is an issue for this. But I'm doing the nut pods, which is almost no carbs in it. This low carb is the ticket. Most agree with that. You're going to have fringe ideas of what's better than that, but most agree with that. I'm doing cottage cheese, which is very few carbs. It's not low calorie, right? It's high protein, low carbs, 3 grams per serving in this one. And then you get net carbs. You can look into that. Instead of my normal ice cream, which had over 100 carbs a pint, doing a different one, 5 grams a pint, and I'm not eating as much of it. You don't have to eat this to be healthy, but if you want a treat, you can find things that will work if you're willing to give yourself to it. Eating goofy things instead of my normal chips. I'm eating things like pork rinds. What is that? You don't even want to know, but it's a way you can still have a chip. Instead of regular soft drinks, I'm doing the 0-calorie soft drink. And I would do a Diet Coke every now and then. I like the way, actually Coke Zero, I really like the way that tastes. It's a treat. But I do buy into the idea that that's probably affecting your gut health to some degree. So I'm really reducing that, just going with more of the Virgils or the Zevia. And then some people would say, don't do fruit if you're pre-diabetic or diabetic. I would disagree with that. But I'm not going to have much. So with breakfast, some cottage cheese maybe, I'm going to have a slice or two of this expensive high-end orange, Sumo citrus orange. And goofy things like keto stuff. This is stuff I would use to kind of make fun of a little bit because I see people going to this thinking, this is going to be my answer. Your answer is going to be a mindset change, which that's what I'm working on is what am I going to do here? This is just evidence that you've had a mindset change. This is not your answer. Your answer is in here. Because this is temporary unless this happens in here and in here. The ice cream was big. The thoughtless snacking during the day that now has to be thought out. If I go to a drive-through now, think about it. And one of the things people get tired of is I don't want to think about it. So are you going to be willing to embrace a new life? And that's what I'm having to ask myself. So let me tell you why most people quit. The same reason most people quit losing weight is the same reason they don't want to do low carb anymore if they're diabetic or pre-diabetic. One, it's not normal, and they're not as satisfied as they used to be. That's why you quit. Two, you get in fights with your wife because she ain't in it. She's suddenly having to do things different for something you have decided to do, whether it's lose weight or diabetes. Vice versa, the husband doesn't like it, the wife doesn't like it because you're not on the same page, and you need to work through that. And that definitely happens most of the time when somebody decides to lose weight, get healthy, go low carb, whatever it is. Another reason people quit is it's too slow. They're not seeing evidence and they're sacrificing. It's like, yeah, I don't even know if this is working. Forget this. Just give me some medication. Less enjoyment, I mentioned satisfied, less enjoyment in life overall and the way what you do every day. And then I have one friend who's lost a lot of weight, and this is a reason people quit too. The doctor said, hey, you're eating too much, whatever. For him, it was protein. And I can imagine in his mind, he's like, that's how I've been so successful is all this protein and less of other things. And then the doctor says, that's not good. What a reason. What a good excuse to say, forget this. Now I can go back. Even the doctor agrees I shouldn't do this anymore, right? So we lose our vision. We lose perspective. And we're like, you know what? I've been looking for a reason to quit anyway. My wife doesn't like it. My doctor said I got too much of this. I'm enjoying life less. Of course I don't want to do this anymore. Stick me, doc. Give me the meds because I've got all these reasons now not to do this anymore. That's why people quit rather than having a vision and a mission that says, no, somebody broke into my house. You can look at it like this. Somebody just broke into my house named pre-diabetes or diabetes or obesity. They broke into my house. You have a choice. Let them step back and say, take what you want. Or let's go. Let's go. You're in my house. What are you going to do about it? Let's go. And I'm just not at the place where I'm just going to say, oh, good, I can just take a little metformin or I can do this or what the doctor's telling me to do. God bless the doctors, especially the ones that are going to work with you or send you somewhere instead of just take these medications. Because most of us do not need the medication. We have to decide. I mean, think about it. You already don't know why you were up so much last night. Was it the caffeine I had at noon, or was it this medication that has 10 side effects, including nosebleeds and diarrhea and heart pain and itching feet? Suddenly you've got all these side effects because you chose, you know what, I don't want to have to change my life. If I can just take this medication, brother, that's changing your life. It's just another way of doing it. I'm challenging you. Let's go about it with serious lifestyle changes. That's what I'm going to do. I invite you to join me. I'm not saying don't listen to your doctor. I'm not saying don't take medication. Do what you got to do. But if you haven't first tried a lifestyle change, not sure you're really after it. So join me if you want to. I'm determined to beat it with lifestyle change. We'll see what happens after a few more weeks of this. I'm seeing some progress already. I'll keep you updated. I'm Trainer Joe. Remember, train your brain and transform your body.